All right, so picture this. Say there are these points on your body, and just by knowing where they are, you could actually like help someone if they were in a crisis.
Hmm.
We're talking about this HT9 point, and I heard it's been used to help people if they faint, bring them around. Isn't that wild?
It is remarkable, and it really speaks to the potential of these 9 HT points. That's what we're diving into today.
9. Okay, there are 9 of them. Wow. So fill me in here. This is all about like tapping into the body's energy, right?
Yeah.
Finding those like hidden levers that can influence how we feel physically and emotionally.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
So each of these 9 points is like a gateway almost to influence the flow of qi, that vital energy that keeps our systems humming.
Okay, yeah.
Think of it like this. If our energy flow is a river, these points are like those strategic access points where we can go in and clear a blockage or redirect the current if we need to.
Okay, so I gotta stop thinking of my body as all these like separate parts. It's more like this web of energy. And those HT points are how we can work with that energy.
Precisely. And what I think is so fascinating is that each point has a specific purpose and a very specific location on the body.
Okay.
Take HT1, also known as quan, for example. You find that one right in the crux of the armpit.
Hold on, the armpit. Are you serious? That ticklish spot is supposed to have healing potential?
You might be surprised. So in traditional practices, activating HT1, it stimulates the meridian that runs through the arm, and it can really help with things like shoulder pain and arm pain. Think of it like releasing a knot in a tight muscle.
Oh, okay. So it's not just some random pressure point, but it's a very strategic point to access this energy meridian.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. But you said that it's not just about physical relief, right? There's more to this point.
Absolutely. So it's believed that if you work with HT1, it can also calm the mind, and it can even address things like heart palpitations. And again, this really highlights that mind-body connection, how our physical and emotional well-being are so interconnected.
Okay, so I'm seeing a pattern here. Specific location, very targeted effect on that energy flow, and benefits that extend beyond just the physical stuff. I like it. What about HT2? Where's that one on the map of the body?
Right, so HT2, or Ling, it's located 3 kun, that's a traditional unit of measurement, above the elbow crease on the inner arm.
3 kun. So are we talking like inches, but more ancient and mysterious?
You could say that. It basically translates to a precise point on the body.
Yeah.
And this precision really matters. So HT2, because of where it's located, it can be used for both physical and emotional imbalances. We're talking arm and shoulder pain, but also things like agitation or just that general feeling of unease.
Wait a minute. So you're saying by working with this one single point on the inner arm, we could find relief from a stiff shoulder and a racing mind. It's like a 2-for-1 deal for finding balance. I like it.
Exactly. And this brings us to HT3, Shaohai, which is located right at the inner end of the elbow crease. And if HT2 is about finding balance, HT3 is like hitting the reset button after a long, stressful day. It's traditionally used to calm the mind, restore a sense of peace.
Okay, now you're speaking my language. Anybody who's ever felt overwhelmed or anxious knows how valuable that sense of inner peace can be. So how does this point work? Is it still about manipulating that qi, that energy we were talking about?
Yes, exactly. Stimulating HT3 is believed to harmonize the flow of qi, especially in the heart meridian. Remember that image of the river we talked about? Imagine that we're smoothing out the ripples in the current, allowing that energy to flow more freely.
And when that energy flows freely, we experience a greater sense of well-being, physically, emotionally, the whole 9 yards. It's really fascinating how these ancient traditions viewed the body as this interconnected system. It's pretty cool.
And it's something that modern science is just starting to understand more and more, that mind-body connection is very real.
Which is a perfect segue to our next point, right? HT4, I think.
You are correct, HT4. So at this point, it's called Ling Dao, and that's where things get really, really interesting. Interesting in a way that really speaks to the emotional connection to these points.
Okay.
This one is all about the feels.
Bring on the feels. I'm here for it. Okay, so where is this magically emotional HT4 located?
So HT4, also known as Ling Dao, by the way, it's found on the inner forearm, about a thumb's width above your wrist crease.
Got it. Inner forearm, above the wrist. Okay. Now, you said it's here that things get interesting, so tell me more about what makes HT4 so special.
What's really fascinating about this point is that it's connected to the emotional aspects of the heart,
Okay.
particularly when it comes to sadness and grief.
It's so interesting how our emotions can leave these fingerprints on our physical bodies. I've also heard that the heart and kidneys are linked in a special way, in traditional practices.
Yeah.
Is there a connection there with this point at all?
That's a great observation, and you're right. In a lot of these practices, the heart and kidneys are considered to be very, very deeply connected. And, while HT4 specifically addresses like the heart's emotional energy, it also indirectly influences the kidneys, which just goes to show you how one system can impact another.
It's all connected. We're not these separate systems at all. Okay, so we've got the armpit, we've got the inner arm, we've got the elbow crease. Now we're on the inner forearm. Are we going for a full body tour here? What's next?
We're just getting started. So our next stop is HT5, called Tong, which is located just a thumb's width above the wrist crease. And this point is a real multitasker.
Ooh, multitasking points on the body. I love it. Okay, tell me more about this one. What can HT5 help with?
So think of those moments when stress just manifests physically.
Oh, yeah.
Like you get heart palpitations, you get that lump in your throat, you can't speak.
Been there.
Yeah, so HT5 is traditionally used to address those kinds of situations.
Wow, it's like a stress-busting point for both the physical and emotional symptoms of tension. I like it.
Exactly, and it doesn't even stop there.
Oh.
It's also been traditionally used to help with things like urinary issues, which really shows you how these points can influence systems that you might not think are related.
Okay, every single point we cover blows my mind. Okay, I
Yeah.
need all the details on HT6. Lay it on me.
All right, so HT6, or Yangtze, it's all about bringing balance to the heart.
Balance, love it.
It's located about half a thumb's width above the wrist crease.
Mm-hmm.
And this one really focuses on nourishing what's called the yin energy of the heart.
Okay, hold on, pause. You're going to have to refresh my memory here about yin and yang, because I always get them mixed up.
It's easy to do.
Which one's which?
So think of yin and yang like two sides of a coin. They're opposite, but they're also totally interconnected. So yin is more like that cool, calming, restorative energy.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have yang, which is that fiery, more active, energetic force.
Mm-hmm.
They always coexist. And we need both of them to be in balance.
Okay, so when we're talking about nourishing the yin of the heart, we're talking about bringing in more of that cooling, calming energy. Is that why this point is sometimes associated with things like night sweats?
You got it. So night sweats, they're often seen as a sign of too much heat, right?
Okay.
So HT6 is traditionally used to cool and nourish that heart energy to try to bring things back into balance.
This is making me rethink how I approached those late night thermostat wars with my partner. Okay, what's next on our HT point adventure?
Next up, we have, I guess you could call this one a VIP.
Oh.
It's HT7, which is known as Shen, or Spirit Gate.
Ooh.
And this point is on the wrist, right below the base of your pinky finger. And it's often used to address stress, insomnia. It's really good for bringing about a sense of calm.
Spirit Gate. That name alone makes it sound powerful. What is it about this point that makes it so important? Well, it really comes down to its location and its energetic influence.
Right.
So HT7 is thought to regulate the heart itself, but it also regulates the blood that's circulating throughout your body.
Wow.
So by working with this point, we're tapping into this very powerful intersection of energy flow that can really impact our well-being overall.
It's just incredible to me how much is happening inside our bodies that we're just not even aware of.
Okay, 2 more points to go on our list. What's the deal with HT8?
All right, so HT8, or Shaofu, is located right on the palm of your hand, kind of between your pinky and your ring fingers.
Okay.
Right where your pinky rests when you make a fist.
Okay. I can picture it. What kind of magic can we work with this palm point?
So this one, it's all about addressing heat.
Oh, okay. So we're targeting heat with this one. Like if my palms are sweating from a big presentation, working with this point could help?
That's the idea. Yeah, so in traditional practices, HT8 is often used to address heat imbalances in the body. Whether it's physical heat, like warm hands, or more energetic heat, like those heart palpitations we talked about.
Oh, right.
It can be really effective.
Okay. It's like each point we've covered offers a different way to fine-tune our internal thermostat. Love it. Okay, we've made it to our final destination. HT9, the one you called a potential lifesaver. Don't hold out on me. I need all the details.
All right. So HT9, also known as Shao chong, it's located at the base of your pinky fingernail.
Okay.
On the side closest to your thumb.
Yeah.
And you're right, in traditional practices, it has been used in emergencies. Like, say, if someone fainted.
Oh, wow.
It's thought to help revive them.
Now I'm really curious what makes it so potent. Why is this point so powerful?
Well, it's believed to give this, like, really powerful stimulating effect on the heart energy.
Okay.
almost like jump-starting the system.
Wow. That's pretty incredible and a little intimidating.
Yeah,
It just really highlights how powerful these points can be.
it's true. And that's why it is so crucial to approach these practices with a lot of respect and caution.
Yeah.
As fascinating as this information is, it shouldn't be taken as a substitute for professional medical advice.
Right, absolutely. This whole deep dive has been about empowering ourselves with knowledge, but also knowing when to seek guidance from the pros.
Well,